So, apparently, I am an idiot. But, Nick, we already knew that about you. You've said that many times in the past. Yes, I know I have. But, here's how much of an idiot I realized I was yesterday. Now, you guys know that I do have an Instagram feed. I mentioned that I've had it since the Thursday before Memorial Day of last year. So, coming on almost a year now, right? So, if you're on Instagram, you can follow people or you can follow people or things or even places. And being as I am a fan of Hot Ones, naturally it would only make sense that I would follow the First We Feast YouTube channel, which also obviously does have an Instagram. What I didn't realize is First We Feast actually reveals who the next guest on Hot Ones is going to be via Instagram. And I only just found that out yesterday. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Ken Jeong tomorrow. It actually kind of makes sense that, hold on. Happy Wednesday. Oh, it's Hump Day, which is awesome. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So, in a way, it is kind of fitting that they would have Ken Jeong be the next guest on Hot Ones. I mean, Dr. Ken really was not a very good show, but, it made him famous, and he actually is a medical doctor, so there's definitely that. Also, he's you guys know at this point, he's also a judge on The Masked Singer, which, funny enough, there is an episode tonight, so I know what I'm doing right before I go to bed and then wake up being single tomorrow. But that's something for tomorrow, not today. But today is Hump Day, which is awesome. The weekend is very close to being here, and I could not be more excited about that. So, in terms of things I wanted to discuss today, again, unfortunately, with the shows I do like to watch, there really isn't anything going on Tuesday. So, there really isn't any worrying about spoilers or for anything because I didn't really watch anything. I pretty much just hung out, used my computer, contemplate stuff that I might actually talk about one day while doing these videos. I mean, I don't want to completely give away everything I'm going to do because that would run out of material very quickly. But there actually is one thing that I didn't mention the other day when I did the TP Tales on Chapel Talks. And this is actually a really interesting story because since I basically did a postgraduate year, I basically repeated my senior year. And since I repeated my senior year, that means any of the colleges that I might have applied for back when I was in Horseheads, null and void. They're done. So, not only did I have to reapply for colleges, but, and this is the part where anyone who's watching this should probably gasp at this point, I had to retake the SATs. Yay! Okay, I have a very sordid history with the SATs. First, the PSATs. I took the PSATs my junior year, the day of my junior prom. And I know that some of you watching are Horseheads alumni when I graduated, so, you remember that day. I remember that day all too well. That was, I was able to enjoy my junior prom okay, because, it's, honestly, going to something like to a prom, after you take a big thing like the PSATs, that's pretty cool. So, that was a great way to sort of, celebrate that I, did it. But then, and the next year I took the SATs twice, I believe. I know because actually these are both sad stories. I took the actual SATs, I know, in October of 2007, because I'll never forget that day, because that's when, this is back when I played football for Horseheads. We had to play Union Endicott that night. That was not a very good day overall. I'll put it to you that way. And we actually had to go to their house. And this is back when they have now Cardinals defensive end Chandler Jones. Oh yeah, Chandler Jones, defensive end for the Cardinals. He was at Union Endicott when I was in Horseheads. In fact, I'm pretty sure he and I are the same age. Hard to believe, isn't it? Small world, I guess? Anyway, and it was also their homecoming, which was also terrible for us. Seriously, I think the final score was like 35-7. Then again, Union Endicott was always ranked number 5 in the state. So the SATs had to go all the way to Binghamton for Union Endicott and lose 35-7. I mean, to this day, I'm still trying to think which football team had a worse loss. Trinity Pauling, when I was there and they lost to Hotchkiss for during alumni weekend, or that. Because they were both pretty horrible. Yeah, sorry, my Trinity Pauling brothers have probably just brought up some really sad memories for you there. So there was that. Oh, and remember the other day I mentioned the story of how I basically spent the entire day in Binghamton without even trying? Because, we had to go to Vestal for that holiday choir thing, and then we had to go up to Binghamton for the sectional playoff. Literally the next morning, this is after we lost, literally the next morning I took the ACT. So, suffice it to say, you would think, so when I was at Trinity Pauling, did this sort of trend where something big happens before or after these giant tests have to, change? Well, I'll put it to you this way. First time I took the SATs at Trinity Pauling was the day of Founders for cross country. So what do you think? But you're probably wondering, well, what does any of this have to do with the Chapel Talk? I'll explain. I said I took the SATs twice at Trinity Pauling. And if any Horseheads alumni who are wondering, no, there really is no difference taking the SATs at Trinity Pauling or Horseheads. It's terrible either way. So there you go. So earlier that week, one of the prefects, in fact, he was not only the junior prefect, but he was also our valedictorian. He basically did his chapel talk on how, because he is originally from China. And by the way, if anyone comes up with a crazy stereotype, shame on you. Anyway, he mentioned how he really was not a very good student. He was unmotivated. At one point, I think his GPA overall was 45. On a scale, 0 to 100 is 45. So it was pretty bad. He eventually talked about how, he felt comfortable being able to work hard on his studies, and, I just said he became the valedictorian at Trinity Pauling, and, I'm sure he's living a really good life right now. I mean, I do believe he went to Trinity College, but I forget, actually, I do believe he's also married, too, so if you are watching this, congratulations. He was also the publisher and editor of the Phoenix, which was the school paper at Trinity Pauling as well. So this guy was a man of many talents. Oh yeah, he was also Groucho Marx in our theater, Trinity Pauling's winter production of A Day in Hollywood, Night in the Ukraine. Even though, I was able to do my Groucho Marx impersonation for one scene, but in terms of the second act, which is A Night in the Ukraine, the Groucho Marx was all him. And it was honestly one of the greatest performances I think I've ever known or seen from anyone that I know personally. So, this guy was a multi-talented individual, to say the least. So, what is that chapel talk? How he goes from essentially having, really bad GPA when he's a kid to being valedictorian at Trinity Pawling at the end of his high school career. What does that have to do with the SATs? And get ready to laugh at this one. No kidding. Because one of the sections you have to, when you take the SATs, one of the sections, I think it might be still there. Can someone remind me if it's still there? The essay portion? We have to, write out an essay. The point I'm trying to get is, the topic of the essay on the SATs was on perseverance. I'm like, oh! And here's the thing. I remembered quite a lot of what his chapel talk was, and I was very tempted to use that in my essay. But here's the thing. I could have written an essay, but it wouldn't have been a very good essay. I mean, yeah, the essay is kind of, silly in the SATs, especially since I'm pretty sure they may have actually gotten rid of it. But there you go. So, if any of you guys really are wondering, I ended up doing the perseverance essay on Thomas Edison. Remember, folks, he didn't find one way to do it right. He found there's either 300 or 3,000 ways to do it wrong. Some big number that had like a 3 in it. The point is, if you ever need an essay topic on perseverance, then go for Thomas Edison. That's actually a pretty good story. That's a great way to write about. Although you're probably wondering, if that was the second time you took the SATs, did something happen big afterwards? Why, yes. We actually had a wrestling tournament at Canterbury that day. Man, I could not get a break. Can nothing big or important happen before or after the SATs, please? I would very much appreciate that. Actually, trying to think. The first time I took the SATs at Trinity Pawling, I said it was Founders, and I believe it was at Brunswick? I think we actually had to take 2 buses because it was myself, our cross-country captain, who was one of the prefects, and the sadly late but always incredibly great Andrew Einstein. We all took the SATs together that day, so we actually had to take 2 of Trinity Pawling school buses to go to Founders. So that was great. I'll never forget what happened afterwards. We get back, and we quickly shower, and then we head to the cave, and our cross country coach actually got pizza for us. So that was pretty cool. And then, okay, I do have to do one more, because Founders was, to put it simply, for those who are from Horseheads, Corning, Elmira who are watching this, Founders, let's say, is like Stack. Western New England's would be sectionals, and New England's would be states. So, New England's was a week later. Hey, I actually got to say I ran states, but I digress. So, I mentioned earlier I was in a few videos now that I was in the fall production of Black Comedy. And the first performance of Black Comedy the final performance was Saturday night, the day of New England's, and we actually went to a place called Avon Old Farms, which is actually another all-boys school, believe it or not. So we get to, the race is over, we're at Avon Old Farms, gymnasium, waiting the award ceremony. And there's this giant spread of food. It was awesome. I'm actually taking a bunch of the white chocolate macadamia cookies, which are awesome cookies, by the way. the cross-country coach walks up to me and is like, do you know what time it is right now? I'm like, yeah, it's about... Because understand, Trinity Pawling to Avon Old Farms is kind of a ways, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I thought I would make it back to Trinity Pawling in plenty of time for the fall for, doing black comedy. But let's just say for that reason alone and the fact that I could very well... I mean, again, I said I played the art dealer who shows up at the very end of the play, so it probably wouldn't have even mattered if, I got there late, but that's another story. But I digress. Needless to say, I was almost that guy. But, yeah, got back to Trinity Pawling in time, did the final performance of black comedy, and the rest is history, I guess. Man, I'm starting to sense a theme. Only now am I realizing that there was a theme between taking giant, important government-mandated tests and big, important sporting or get-together events. I had really poor luck with that. But I do not have poor luck making these videos. And with the Masked Singer on tonight, I got something to look forward to. So, like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I can really support on YouTube. Follow me on the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. As always, I'm very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful hump day. And remember, for you guys ever talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care, and make good choices.